Hidden beneath Greenland's vast ice sheet, the United States built a secret military base, one unlike anything attempted before or since. Camp Century, also known as the City Under the Ice, was a groundbreaking engineering feat. Unlike modern Arctic research stations that sit on top of the ice, Camp Century was hollowed out beneath the frozen surface, an underground world carved from snow and ice. Using massive machinery equipped with rotating shovels, American engineers burrowed into the glacier, constructing a labyrinth of tunnels stretching for miles. Inside, they built prefabricated buildings that housed living quarters, a medical dispensary, research laboratories, a mess hall, a gym, and even a movie theater. The entire camp, designed to support nearly 200 men at a time, was powered by a nuclear reactor which was transported more than 138 miles, 222 kilometers, across the ice and installed beneath the surface. A 1964 documentary released by the U.S. Department of Defense captured the immense scale of the operation, showcasing the underground world that Camp Century had become. Despite the extreme conditions outside, life inside the tunnels was surprisingly comfortable. Officers could spend up to 6 months stationed there, while enlisted men served 4-month rotations. The warmth of the insulated quarters, the availability of fresh water from a steam-drilled ice well, and the promise of nightly movies and cocktails made life bearable, at least for a time. But beneath its scientific and military ambitions, Camp Century harbored a secret. It was not just an Arctic research station, but also a test site for an audacious and highly classified Cold War plan. The secret mission, Project Iceworm. Officially, Camp Century was built for Arctic research. Scientists stationed there studied the movement of glaciers, tested communication equipment near the magnetic North Pole, and conducted experiments on long-term human survival in extreme conditions. But behind the scenes, the United States military had an even more ambitious goal: Project Iceworm. This top-secret plan envisioned a vast network of underground missile launch sites stretching across 52,000 square miles, 135,000 square kilometers, an area roughly the size of Alabama. If successful, the U.S. could position 600 nuclear missiles beneath the Arctic ice, hidden from Soviet surveillance and capable of striking Russia with unprecedented speed and precision. One of the key technical challenges was finding a way to move missiles around under the ice without detection. To achieve this, military engineers attempted to build a subsurface railroad designed to transport nuclear warheads between tunnels and prevent the Soviet Union from pinpointing their locations. However, early tests failed, and the project quickly ran into deeper problems. The inevitable collapse. The very foundation that made Camp Century possible, the Arctic ice sheet, was also its downfall. The ice was not stable, and the slow but unstoppable movement of the glacier began deforming the tunnels. Over time, walls and ceilings narrowed, shifted, and crushed structures, requiring constant maintenance to prevent the base from collapsing. A dedicated crew spent countless hours each day shaving ice from the tunnel walls and removing tons of snow and frost that accumulated inside the base. Despite these efforts, it became clear that maintaining an underground city beneath the Arctic was unsustainable. By 1967, the decision was made to abandon Camp Century. The nuclear reactor was removed, but much of the base was simply left behind, entombed under layers of accumulating snow and ice. The classified nature of Project Iceworm ensured that its true purpose remained unknown for decades. The Cold War secret revealed. For years, Camp Century remained little more than a Cold War relic, its full story buried under Greenland's ice. Then, in 1997, a declassified set of U.S. documents brought Project Iceworm to light. The revelation that the U.S. had planned to install nuclear weapons beneath Danish-controlled Greenland caused political outrage, sparking debates about military transparency and the Cold War's lingering shadows. Even today, the full extent of Project Iceworm remains unclear. Many documents related to the project remain classified, and historians still debate whether Camp Century was built as a cover for Iceworm or whether the missile project was conceived later. A legacy of climate science. Despite its military origins, Camp Century made lasting contributions to climate research. In the 1960s, scientists drilled the first deep ice core, capturing the full thickness of the Greenland ice sheet, 4,560 feet, 1,390 meters, down to the bedrock. This ice core provided one of the first detailed records of Earth's climate history, offering insight into how glaciers formed and how past temperature shifts affected the planet. The oxygen isotopes trapped in ancient ice layers have since been used to track global temperature fluctuations over more than 100,000 years. This pioneering research laid the foundation for modern paleoclimatology, the study of Earth's climate history. But Camp Century's scientific legacy took an even more shocking turn in 2019, when scientists uncovered fossilized plant material from the bottom of the ice core, evidence that Greenland was once ice-free. This discovery shattered assumptions that the Greenland ice sheet had been frozen for millions of years, proving that a warmer world in the past had once melted away much of its ice. The unfinished business of Camp Century today, Camp Century is buried under more than 98 feet, 30 meters of ice, but it has not been forgotten. The biological, chemical, and radioactive waste left behind when the base was abandoned remains frozen. But for how long? The nuclear reactor was removed before the base was shut down, but radioactive wastewater was discharged directly into the ice during its operation. Additionally, the sewage, fuel, and construction materials used at the base are still trapped in the ice sheet. For now, researchers estimate that the site will remain undisturbed until at least 2100. However, if global temperatures continue to rise, the melting Arctic could one day expose Camp Century's buried waste, posing serious environmental risks. Scientists continue to monitor the site, warning that the world must prepare for the possibility that Cold War debris could soon resurface. A city under the ice, a warning for the future Camp Century, remains one of the most ambitious and mysterious projects of the Cold War. A city built beneath the ice, powered by nuclear energy, and hiding a secret plan to reshape global military strategy. But its unintended legacy may be even greater. The very ice that made Camp Century possible is now melting at an unprecedented rate due to climate change. The Arctic is warming nearly 4 times faster than the global average, with Greenland losing 280 billion tons of ice each year. Scientists warn that if the ice sheet collapses completely, sea levels could rise by more than 20 feet, flooding coastal cities worldwide. What began as an experiment in Arctic survival has now become a symbol of the fragility of our planet. Camp Century, once a marvel of Cold War engineering, now stands as a frozen time capsule, a warning of what happens when we push the limits of nature without understanding the consequences. As the ice continues to melt, one question remains. What other secrets lie buried beneath?